Black people are an obsession. The world is obsessed with us. It was never hate. It's always been envy. It's always been envy. It was never hate. We thought it was hate this whole time. They don't hate us. They envy us. They want everything we have. They want to be us. They want our demeanor, our swag, our lingo, our abilities, our intellectuality. They want our brain power. Believe it or not, they've convinced us that black people can't read. Black people usually are the dumber ones in the classroom, whatever the case may be. But honestly, that's not true. And a lot of black people have gone on to believe that. So, when you believe that, you don't even try sometimes. That's a whole nother conversation. But they've put certain things not only in black people's minds, but in other people of color's minds around the world. So not only do white people envy us, but other people of color envy us, and then they pass it off as hate, and they discriminate against us and all of that, but do everything that we do. They want to talk like us, they want to walk like us, dance like us, copy our music style, K-pop. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I don't have any hate for none of these people, but my thing is, it's so weird that y'all act like we're the scum of the earth, but copy our every single move, from the way we speak to music to fashion to everything. The fashion world, these big fashion houses, guess what they get their inspiration from? The ghetto, the hood, the streets, hip hop. You get what I'm saying? They get it from all types of black people from every end of the spectrum. They don't actually hate us. Because when you hate somebody and you feel like you're better than somebody or a group of people, you don't copy what they do. You don't mimic what they do. You get what I'm saying? You don't even engage in stuff that's of their culture or of their lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? So it's not hate, it's envy. Y'all ever been in school, and especially when you was younger, and kids would be like, I don't like you, or I don't like her because, and they never have a real explanation. They just say because, and then now y'all fighting and y'all beefing in elementary school, middle school for no reason, when really the basis of that is envy. They want something you have. They want to be you. They want to look like you. Whatever the case may be. On a larger scale, that's the rest of the world to black people. And more specifically, I'm gonna be honest, more specifically, black Americans. That may be a whole nother conversation. And don't get me wrong, black Americans obviously get a lot of stuff directly from Africa. I mean, because we're originally from Africa, so our ways we're literally African American. You know what I'm saying? It's African based regardless, right? But you know what? That's a whole other TikTok. The message I want to send to all my fellow black people out there is, if you ever feel the effects of racism and it kind of gets into your head and makes you subconsciously feel like you are less than, or you feel like, damn, I'm hated because I'm black, or me and my people are hated or looked down on, or looked at like we're just the scum of the earth and we're just bad people by nature or something, remember that it's the total opposite. These people worship us. Honestly, they do. They fake like they don't. They pretend like they hate us, but they copy everything we do. They worship us. They want to be us. We lead them. We lead the pack. We lead the trend in everything. You get what I'm saying? So remember to walk with your head high. I'm not trying to get deep in all that, but to be honest, I need y'all to remember to walk with your head high as a black person, because you literally are what everybody wants to be. You get what I'm saying? And the proof is online. The proof is out in the world. The proof is in everyday life. I'm not just making this shit up. They want to be us. So don't let them get in your head and make them think that they think they're better than you, because they don't think that. They know they're not better than you, but they want you to think that, so you don't know who you are and what you have and what we are as black people. You get what I'm saying?
I'm in these non-toxic groups on Facebook where people live non-toxic lives, and we're looking for non-toxic recommendations for the products that we use. And I made a Facebook post, this was a while back, and I was like, I'm looking for black-owned, non-toxic hair product recommendations for my entire family who has various hair types. And my post was just met with so many white women who are like, that's racist. Why are you looking for black owned? I'm telling you, this post got endless comments full of hatred. Like, it just kept coming and coming and coming. You support black businesses to get rid of the racial wealth gap. Like, it's seriously the least that you can do. It's the easiest thing that you can do. So I was like talking with these people in the comments, and they're coming at me and they're attacking me. And it brought out a side of me that I'm not proud of, because I called them what they were. And basically my entire post got taken down. And so I didn't get any answers. But if this isn't a really good example of how white people don't want Black people to succeed, I don't know what is. And so if you have any good recommendations for non-toxic products in general that are Black owned, I would love for you to drop them in the comments, because I did get a couple of answers, but the post got taken down so suddenly that I couldn't write them down. And then some that we found that we ended up trying just didn't work out the way that we hoped. We have hair types ranging from 4A to C and hair like mine. But I'm always looking for Black owned businesses that I can support in general. And products that are non-toxic are a big...
All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you're all doing good. You know, Black excellence is rising unapologetically, powerfully, and globally. From business and entertainment to politics and innovation, the growth, the unity, and success of Black people are impossible to ignore. But with progress comes discomfort, and now some white people are visibly losing it. So guys, I decided to make this video so that we can break down why the unstoppable rise of Black excellence is shaking things up, why it makes some people uneasy, and how silent, undeniable progress is changing the world forever. So guys, let's get into this conversation. Is the rise of Black excellence changing the balance of power? Share your thoughts in the comments, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for real discussions about culture, race, and empowerment. Let's get into the video. I'll be back.
Have you ever noticed that if you look at pictures of Black men, they never smile? They never do. Like, you look at pictures of us over time, everybody you see who's a star, Magic Johnson, what they say about him? He had a smile that lit up the room, right? He was a killer. He was an athlete. That smile, it isn't that that smile opened doors for him because he knew how to seem warm and approachable. There is, a smile doesn't work where we come from, but you need it outside of where we come from. So you know how to dress for success. You have to know how to be affable and approachable for success too. Like, people don't want that. I've known some of the greatest, and you know what I'm talking about, some of the greatest comics I've ever seen. And people didn't like to work with them because they were not accessible. And I'm not talking about letting somebody run over you, but I'm talking about being able to look like I can come up to you and say something to you and have a conversation with you that doesn't become something else. Not just dressing for success, you have to learn how to look like you're ready to be. The one thing about women in the corporate environment, they know how to adapt to that environment. We have to learn.
You ever notice when a Black woman walks into work all put together that folks start acting funny, like your confidence offends them? I had a manager say to me, "Oh, this is a very laid back place. We don't really, do all of that." Ma'am, you don't do all that. Don't project your bare minimum onto me. I like to show up looking good because it makes me feel good. It's always extra when a Black woman takes pride in herself. They call you bougie, say you're doing too much, you're extra. No, I just take pride in my appearance. And I noticed that it's not even about the makeup or the clothes. What they can't take is a Black woman who shows up for herself and feels confident and knows that she looks good. And I don't care if you work in a kitchen, in a cubicle, I don't care where you work. Still show up and look good for your damn self. Because they're going to talk regardless, so you might as well give them something to talk.
When the 92% started saying, get somebody else to do it, a lot of people acted like they thought that Black women were ultimately saying we're no longer participating in democracy, or we're no longer going to be doing anything towards freedom. And part of the reason why I believe that people really struggle with this idea that Black women centering themselves is radical resistance is because I always quote Zora Neale Hurston's "Their eyes are watching God." The character Nanny said, "The woman is the mule of the world." And I have to say it like that. I can't say Nigger on TikTok because TikTok will absolutely block my video. Like, literally, I say the N-word so frequently and TikTok be like, delete and re-edit. It's not happening. So yeah, so people are so used to Black women carrying the burden of everything that when Black women get this revelation that maybe taking care of ourselves could be profound and radical and revolutionary, people act like we're saying, no, let's go back to slavery. The opposite. If you want to know what Black women are doing for the movement, we are dreaming, we are resting. If you want to know what Black women are doing that is revolutionary, that is radical, we are playing and intentionally seeking the experience of bliss bliss and pleasure. We are healing our ancestors. We are doing deep breathing and wholeness work. We are in pursuit of our wholeness. If you want to know what Black women are doing that is going to change the world, we are in pursuit of a fourth wave of womanist thought. And that is our very worthy, incredible contribution to the movement. 2 questions. Have you ever heard of fourth wave womanism? I happen to know the person who introduced that language. Number 2 question, have you ever read this little book called All the Black Girls Are Activists, a fourth wave womanist pursuit of dreams as radical resistance? I'll tell you who the author is, Ebony Janice. If you haven't read my book, I actually introduced this language of dreaming as radical resistance in 2019. I have been building this idea around Black women not creating from a place of sick and tired of being sick and tired, from a place of resistance, but Black women creating from a place of dreaming, like our highest imagination. And years later, this book was published in 2023. I wrote this book, All the Black Girls Are Activists, and it's basically a love letter to Black women saying that if we don't do anything else but show up as our actual whole selves, doing the work of pursuing our ease, our softness, our rest, our dreaming, our unashamedness, that is the work. It is not supplemental to the work that we're supposed to be doing to get free. It is the work that we are doing to get free. And so in a space, here where I'm constantly just affirming Black women's wholeness and worthiness, I think that All the Black Girls Are Activists could be a very profound supplemental material for your healing and wholeness and glorious journey.
The ultimate white privilege is always going to be ignorance. As long as white people have the ability to disengage with a conversation and it's not that deep their way out of any conversation when they feel like they're being emotionally triggered or discomforted or feel cognitive dissonance any type of way, that's going to be the ultimate privilege. White people are always going to have the ability to move through this world without really engaging in tough conversations about system that we lived in because the topic of white supremacy is so emotionally charged with them because of the concept of whiteness. As long as they feel connected to the concept of whiteness, any criticism about the concept is going to bring them discomfort. So immediately it's going to become emotionally charged for them and they're not going to want to engage in conversation. And that in itself is a privilege. But it's also the ultimate form of psychological subjugation because no one is more subjugated under white supremacy than white people. Right? Your concept of being white is going to always tie you to the system. So you're never going to be able to fathom a world in which you weren't white. So while people of color, especially Black people and indigenous people, born a life that existed before white supremacy, you will never be able to do that because you don't remember what you were before you were white. Black people and indigenous people, on the other hand, are always thinking about a world in which their labor wasn't commodified, where they grew their own food, where shelter was free, where water was free. They could just go outside and hunt for animal products. Because of colonization and slavery, people of color are always going to have a homing beacon in history where life existed before white supremacy. For them, because they're still people of color. But because you identify with whiteness, that concept might not exist for you. The system is all you know. All you know is working for money. All you know is paying for water. All you know is paying for electricity. All you know is paying for land. When people of color have lived off the land for thousands of years. So there's always going to be this concept of a better life to people of color. That does not exist for white people. And that is the ultimate subjugation. You're the ultimate subjugated people under white supremacy. It is your psychology, your programming that keeps you in the life that we live. And that is why, even though the world that we lived in is so fucked up, white people fear changing it because they do not know a life outside of it. In their minds, this is as good as it gets. But people of color know that's not true. We remember a time where we built communities, where we grew food together, where we helped out our neighbor, where everything was essentially free, minus a little labor to get it and grow it. Not this fake system where we lived for money. Mind you, this system for most people of color has only existed for 400 years. There's always going to be a point in our mind where white supremacy did not exist. Because we are not white and we do not identify with whiteness. That is not something that a white person can say. So for a white person, the ultimate privilege is always going to be identification with white supremacy itself. As long as you have the privilege of being ignorant and able to not engage with the conversation because of your emotional discomfort, you're always going to find a way to make the best out of this situation. That is the ultimate privilege. While Black people and people of color mourn a life that we could have lived, White people not came and subjugated us under their system. All white people think about is how to achieve and grow inside the system of capitalism, inside the system of patriarchy and white supremacy. All of your goals revolve around improving that system instead of dismantling it. We are not even looking at history and reality from the same standpoint, and that's because you identify as white. The system is literally embedded inside of your identity. That is the ultimate privilege. It's ignorance of not being able to contextualize the idea from outside of yourself. That is a privilege. Also, the ultimate subjugation.
So guys, as you continue watching, you know Black excellence is not just a movement, it is a reality. Across the world, we are seeing a new era of empowerment, creativity, and unity within the Black community. From billion-dollar business empires to record-breaking achievements in sports, tech, and education, the progress is undeniable. And yet, with every milestone reached, with every win celebrated, some people are starting to lose their composure. Yes, the rise of Black excellence is not just being seen, it is being felt, and for some, that's uncomfortable. So guys, let's get into these remaining clips, then I'll be back with more commentaries. Stay tuned.
Stop playing with us. Hey, all that DEI goofiness you talking about, man, stop playing us. Give us our props. Stop messing with our history. The more you erase, the more we replace. I don't get why they so mad at us. Somebody said, why I gotta be Black excellence? Why not? Why not? Why can't I show these young Black kids, girls, and guys a different side? Perception is everything. Showing these kids a different perception. How great is that? You know what's crazy? When Barack Obama became president, people were like, policy. I said, oh, whatever. You know what he did for me? He changed my perception. Because when I would travel the world had a certain perception of me as a Black man. But when they saw, and if there's any indication that America is not the most incredible country in the world, and he came up in there with that suit, fly, you feel me? I felt good, and everybody felt good because they love what we do. I know y'all out there bullshitting right now, but y'all love us. Y'all love our music, and if y'all talking about DEI, then give some of our stuff back, like our R&B. Stop playing with us. Stop singing like us. Stop dancing like us. Give us our shit back. No, I'm just kidding.
Even the racist wins when Black people succeed going forward because GDP rises. We're having the wrong argument. In fact, we're arguing. There's no need to argue. There's not enough college-educated, successful white men to drive GDP. Unless you want to speak another language, we better figure out in the next 5 or 10 years that we're better together. Black people, you better be obsessed with education. It's not about love or hate anymore like in Dr. King's day. Today it's radical indifference. No one cares enough about you anymore to hate you. Private security, private roads, private families, private education, private transportation, private schools. You can go on and on and on. They've just separated themselves and said, yeah, y'all do as you like. You want to tear up your communities? You want to tear up your own lives? Knock yourselves out. You want to be like Cam? You want to be like me? Understand that 3,000 years before marriage was spiritual and God endowed it with spirituality, marriage was a business. When the breasts drop and the rear end drops and the looks go away, that's your business partner for life. Eagles don't fly in packs. You've never seen a flock of eagles. Buzzards love packs. Buzzards are low altitude birds. In fact, buzzards are insecure, so buzzards are always shooting at eagles. They have high confidence and low self-esteem. But a turkey's the worst kind of bird, because a turkey's got wings and can't fly. My second great-grandmother was a slave. My grandmother owned a shotgun shack in East St. Louis, taking care of her children. My mother owned 7 homes. I own 700. I'm not a genius. I'm just role modeling, and I know my history. You know, you're a kid, a bank account in kindergarten with $100 in it, is 75% more likely to graduate from college.
White people need to learn how to challenge authority instead of challenging minorities. Okay? Now wait, listen. White people have this innate need every time there's a Black person, Latino person, Arab person, person of color who says something that they either disagree with or feel like they disagree with or feel like they are the anomaly outside of that group of things that the person of color is talking about. They're just like, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. Or what about this? Or what about me? Or how about this? But I'm just like, y'all have all this energy towards a minority who says something that you don't like, but when it comes to an authority figure that you don't like and they say something wrong, well, it's just like, oh, it's fine, or oh, they didn't mean it, or oh, I'm sure they were saying something else, or oh, just ignore that altogether, or oh, I have no power to change that, or oh, I don't know. It's just like, what do you, it's just like all these, y'all give every excuse in the book for an authority figure. But when it comes to a minority, you're listen, don't take this wrong, but like this is why the word Karen came to be. It was birthed out of white people, white women specifically, feeling like they need to exert their authority over people of color. And that's what it is. It's like, I feel like white people, they have, and I heard this from White Woman Whisperer, she was talking about how white people have authority, like they always feel like they're the father to the father, or an authority figure to the authority figure, and they feel like inherently in their hearts that they are an authority figure to people of color. And so they feel like they have this divine right to correct people of color whenever they feel like a person of color is wrong or needs correcting. But they feel like because there's always this hierarchy in life, that whenever someone that they deem as above them, their parents or their grandparents or the police or the government or God, that is telling them to do something that they don't believe in, or that they do something that they think is wrong, they still have to do it because they cannot challenge authority. And that's why they also get so upset when people of color push back on them, because inside of them they see that as someone who is in a position of less authority pushing back on them, the authority. Are y'all listening? White people, y'all don't know it, but you have this inherent feeling inside of you that you are a authority figure to people of color. Like, that has been ingrained in you all since the reception of the United States of America, is that white people are the authority over people of color. Like, that y'all have always been placed on top, and from a political, financial, economic, like social standpoint, you all have always been placed literally legally given the authority over people of color. And that culture has never went away. It has went away on paper, mostly, kinda, but in practice and in reality, it never went away. And so a lot of you have in your minds, even though you don't know you have it in your minds, but you have it in your minds that what you think and what you feel and what you have to say is more important or more authoritative than the person of color who is speaking, because you are. Because you do, because it is. Like, whatever you have to say, you just genuinely with all your heart feel like it is more important or more legitimate than a person of color. And that, I'm not gonna lie, pisses me off. It pisses me off because, like, I talk about racism a lot on the page, and the amount of white people who come into my page, especially this, I'm never gonna forget this post I made about blonde hair being racist, and every single white woman in all of America came into my page to tell me I'm wrong. And I'm just like, how can you as a white person tell me, as a black person who has studied history, studied racism, studied socialism, studied public health, studied population, studied all these things through the lens of racism, how are you gonna come and tell me that I am wrong about racism? Someone who has experienced racism, a black woman who has experienced racism on many occasions in her life, overtly, covertly, and any other kind of way, you're going to tell me you know more about racism than me. And so, and the excuse is that they feel like I don't know about what they like. Like, you're just like, oh, I like blonde hair because blonde hair is, I just prefer that. I just prefer my hair lighter. And it's just like, but when I ask them, why do you prefer that? Where did that belief that blonde hair is more pretty or more beautiful, where did that belief come from? They're just like, it just is. You don't question your thoughts. Don't question your beliefs. Don't question where a preference came from. You're thinking too deep. Now you're too woke. Now you're too woke. Now I'm the woke friend. It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna just leave that there. I'm a little traumatized from that post, I'm not gonna lie. But that is what it is white people love challenging minorities, but they cannot for the life of them challenge authority. Think about it.
You know, guys, we have come to the conclusion of the video, and what I can say, for generations, the system was not designed for blacks to succeed. Yet, despite every obstacle, every stereotype, and every limitation, we rose. What started as survival became innovation. What started as exclusion became creation. Today, black excellence is seen in our art, our businesses, our leadership, our education, and most importantly, our unity. This is not about superiority. It is about self-determination. It is about rewriting a story that was never meant to have us at the center and taking our rightful place there anyway. So, why is it making some people uncomfortable? Let's be honest. Not everyone is celebrating this progress. Some people are watching the rise of black power in success and feeling threatened. Why? Because for centuries the world was structured to favor one group, and the idea of equality feels like a loss to those who have always been on top. When black people succeed without permission, when we thrive on our own terms, it exposes the truth. We were never less capable, we were just less supported. And that realization is shaking the foundation of privilege. Yes, what is even more powerful is the silent progress, the kind that doesn't make headlines, the quiet growth of black families, black wealth, black education, and black unity. While the world watches for drama, we are building legacies in boardrooms, classrooms, and creative spaces. It's that kind of progress, steady, strategic, and unstoppable, that truly intimidates those who prefer us divided, because unity is power, and power, when it is in the hands of the once oppressed, changes everything. So we have a new era, and this is not just a trend. It's not just representation, it is a new era, one built on pride, purpose, and progress. Every step forward, every barrier broken, and every record shattered sends a clear message. Black excellence is not rising, it is here, and it is not going anywhere. So let them be uncomfortable, let them talk, because while they are focused on fear, we are focused on the future. This is what black excellence look like: unstoppable, unbothered, and unbreakable. The world is changing, and it is about time. Yes guys, thank you so much for watching. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. This video is meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well. Be blessed. Kindly give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video for it to get to a wider audience. See you in the next one guys. Peace be with you until next time.